Hello, everyone, and welcome. As you know, I'm S. Barry Hamdani, and today I want to talk with you about taking control of your mind and therefore controlling your destiny. When you control what goes on between your ears, when you control the battlefield, that 8-inch battlefield between your ears, you're going to control your destiny. Sun Tzu said that positioning alone is the strategy in war. Therefore, I'm suggesting to you to position your mind on the battlefield so that you may win. There are a lot of things that are taking place outside of yourself that will impact you. But you and I need to make a decision as to how we are going to respond to outside stimuli before it stimulates us. Sounds paradoxical. How do you prepare yourself for something outside of yourself that is going to take place and you don't know what it is? Well, here's your answer. Here's what I do know. I know what I believe. See? Well, okay, so you know what you believe, Barry, and there are things happen outside of yourself. Connect the dots and to connect them again to relationships. That should be your question to me. It is an intelligent question. And here's your answer. Relationships are the medium in which we learn more and more about ourselves. Since we have learned certain things about ourselves in a relationship to someone else, we become prepared to deal with outside stimuli. For example, let's say that the significant person in your life has already told you that you do not respond emotionally, and they like that about you. They like the fact that they may criticize you or something, and you actually take your time and you think about it to see if it has value. Okay? You've learned something about yourself. Therefore, when an outside stimulus begin to impact your life, you should know that you are the person who's going to take your time and think about it, evaluate it, to see if it has merit. On the other side of that coin, if you are the person that don't take criticism positively, then you need to be even more aware than that positive person who is a thinker. If you respond negatively to criticism, that would indicate one of two things. Either a person has said something really disrespectful and out of order, or you are afraid that that criticism may ring true. And the underlying fear of your inability to listen to that is because you believe that you cannot overcome it. And none of those things in the realm of fear in which you are responding are true. Now, let's, for the sake of argument, say that the person who gives you a criticism is a decent, respecting person, a loving and kind person, and you find that you can't accept that criticism, then there is a problem within yourself, and it is inhibiting you from the ultimate success that awaits you. See, in the relationships, there are hints of your power and disempowerment. And If you are running away from people in relationships because you cannot accept that criticism or that observation, then you are essentially running away from yourself. You're running away from your own success and you don't realize it. However, on the other hand, if you are able to ponder the criticism, if you're able to talk about it, if you're able to see why the other person came to that conclusion, then you have just become empowered. For example, if someone says that, hey, hold on, you talk too fast, that should help you. This is a very simple example, but it's going to underline a principle that is going to help you with the many examples in your life. If someone were to tell you that you talk too fast and you resist that observation, then you're not going to make the adjustments that you need in building relationships with other people who feel you speak too fast, but they probably won't say that to you because they're not close to you. But the dynamic remains the same. It becomes a negative experience for the other person. Let's say you learned from the significant person you're in a relationship with, and you accepted that, okay, sometimes you talk too fast. Notice what happens. As you're engaging in relationships with other people, you will probably mention it. You may say something to the effect, well, correct me, slow me down if I'm talking too fast. I have a propensity to do that. And I really want to communicate with you. I want to reach you. That's important. So don't hesitate to slow me down if I'm talking too fast. Notice what just happened there. The person that you're in a relationship with has empowered you. So when that person is not there, you are still aware of the positive criticism, and you're able to have a dialogue with someone else so that whatever that flaw was, it does not hinder you. If you're in a relationship with someone and that person tells you that, hey, you are a bit judgmental, I think that you arrive at conclusions rather quickly before you've heard the whole matter. Notice, if you accept that rather than run from it, the fear that causes you to run from it is not real. It is engaging you on a low vibration so that you cannot rise to the higher frequency, which is where you face that thing and deal with it and realize it's no longer taking anything away from you. Because then in a conversation with people in the future, you can again practice that dynamic. You can say something to the effect, excuse me if I'm being a bit judgmental, but this is what I hear and this is what I'm drawing from what I hear. So give me feedback. Am I being a bit judgmental, or is that truly what I see? Notice what happened in that dialogue with that person. One, they're going to open up to you because you are sensitive to them. Now they're able to talk to you about whether or not you are being judgmental, or whether your observation is real. And in having that discussion with you, they're not going to hesitate because they don't feel that you're going to be offended. Why? Because you brought it up. But think about this. Why were you able to bring it up? You were able to bring it up because it had been shared with you by your partner. You may not have accepted it from anyone else. But since you accepted it from your partner, you're able to deal with it, and now you are functioning on a higher frequency through your awareness. So when you go home, you should hug your mate because that person has blessed you. See, it is inside the context of relationships that we actually grow. It is inside that context in which we are empowered. When we resist that intelligence, that intuitive intelligence that comes from our partner, when you resist that, that is the point that you become disempowered and you begin to vibrate on a much lower frequency. What does that cost you? It would cost you whatever you wanted in the relationship with other people. Let's say, for example, you are an entrepreneur. You're looking for venture capital. You're looking for an investor. Your mate tells you that as you ran it by her or him, your mate may say something like, "You're giving me all this positive information, but you're not talking about the consequence of things that go wrong. You're not talking about the things that can go wrong and how you are positioned to counteract it." If you accept that information from your mate, when you begin to talk to investors, you can bring those things up. It's already in their minds anyway. You can bring those things up and address them and create a greater probability of getting what you want from those people simply because you have been emotionally intelligent, because you have been mindfully coherent, because what was happening within that 8 inches is something that you focused upon with your mate. It developed conversationally. You were able to engage someone else in those dynamics. The dynamics of your speaking too fast, or the dynamics of your being a bit judgmental, or the dynamics of your not talking about the things that could go wrong. Can you see how you've been empowered based on a simple conversation with your mate in a relationship? I've given you 3 examples, but I'm here to humbly submit to you, there are hundreds, or if not thousands, of examples where you can get from your mate what you're going to need to impact the outer world. There is a reason that your mate is your mate. If you're with the ideal mate, not the perfect mate, there's no such thing as a perfect person, but there is a such thing as someone who is perfect for you. And that person is going to contain within themselves all that is needed to communicate these things to you. And how do you influence that person to do more of that? You do it by being the same person to them. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Listen closely to your mate. Evaluate. If you see a flaw that might hinder him or her, it's your responsibility to make it known. The dynamics that I'm giving you in this instruction, the wisdom in this instruction is eternal. It does not end. It is going to continue on and on and on. When one of you dies, the other is still aware of your presence, and they're still aware of what they learned from you. And because that the loved one has passed, you're going to embrace that wisdom more passionately now than ever before. If I have helped you at all, please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you. Es Barry Hamdani. Until we meet again, may God bless you and your loved ones forever.